2001, 2011 now. I'm 81. She's close.
76.
76. And it's hard to remember those things as being what they are, what they were at the time.
I remember Nixon going away in total disgrace, and he would not admit it. I do remember that. I didn't really personally ever pay attention to all the stuff about Kennedy, but I did know he was a Catholic, the first Catholic president ever elected. He was definitely very charismatic. He had lots of following. His wife was the epitome of
glamour,
gracefulness, and really fashion. She was really great. And also restraint. Maybe that was the feeling I always had about her. But I remember that people around here were kind of astounded that she had spent so much time and money on renovating the White House. I do remember that because it was a war and, you know, blah, blah, blah. They didn't like that at all. Okay, I remember that. I do remember I had Greg at the doctor's office when it was announced that Kennedy had been shot.
Oh.
And I remember we came home to watch the television. That must be 63 maybe, somewhere around there.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, that was a shock. Actually, this is the first time that we had black people in the Upper Peninsula, or at least a lot of them, so that it was kind of a novelty for us to have these people from the urban areas downstate come up here.
Well, one of the things about the Job Corps with all of these Negro people here for the first time and from the bigger city and from out of this area, they'd come into the store and you can't understand them.
I could not understand
Blah, blah,
them.
blah, blah, blah. You didn't know what they were saying.
And they would ask for
And
their
your ears aren't
pictures.
accustomed to it at all, you know.
They would ask for pictures to be returned because we were we were an outlet for developing. And I finally would have to have them write their name down because I could not discern their names. It was bad. And I felt very badly. Feminist movement, yes. Up to that point, well, this is good. Up to that point, teaching was a job for married women who were second wage earners. And in 1970, now this is a little later, in 1970, they still were under the auspices of a superintendent. We had no unions or anything like that. And in 1970, the movement started here to start a teachers' union, and it went through. And for the first time, people not second wage earners were hired for the teaching jobs.
When you were a teacher yourself, weren't you?
And I was turned down to be a teacher.
I went to work in 1967, and I earned $3,600 for the first year of teaching.
People were very upset that it happened. I think they knew it was not a good thing. There wasn't much we could do about it. The Russians had their day in the sun there, and what could you do about it other than pressure and start a war? Nobody wanted another war. The war just ended in
But didn't
45
they
was-
send planes over from?
Well, they blocked the routes, the land routes
I know.
into Berlin. But here's a picture of the Berlin Wall right here. These are two
Sorry.
people from town here, Jorma Lankinen, who's a contractor in town, and
Mike Foster.
Mike Fosbender, who owned Fosbender's Funeral Home. They tripped over there. This is before it all came down, and you'll see them standing on a piece there, chipping a piece of the wall, and this is a piece of the wall here.
I was teaching school at that time, so it was big in my life.
Yeah.
And I even got pictures from National Geographic and so forth to use in my classroom. Yeah, it was big. And in fact, it was probably a part of our science for maybe even 6 weeks in the class. We talked about rockets and so forth.
Well, it's an astounding feat. How
Yeah.
can you deny it?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people didn't even know that they were working on it. I don't think they realized it. But Kennedy had made the challenge earlier while he was still alive
Yeah.
to put a man on the moon
Yep.
in 10 years or something like
Yeah.
that, and it happened. So it was I
A big
think
event.
it was a big thing to show what can be done if there's a national purpose to do it. And I think we need national purpose now to get people to work. We need national purpose to share the burden. We need national purpose to make the rich pay more. We need national purpose to cut out an awful lot of the problems that are caused by this coming together of all this money in such concentrated amounts, you know, that they can do anything they please, it seems. And we've got to get away from that. We have to get back to thinking of people and national endeavor and success. Big, strong guy, a football player, and the older fellow that was getting him on the bus or on the plane, and he threw his things down, he ran over and he grabbed them and he bounced them all over the airport there and kicked the shit out of them. So that was his going away party for Marquette.